who I know both candidates are very low, but look at this. She is getting 39%. Compare that to Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears. She's only at 24%. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back with a new video, and there's a critical election upcoming in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and it looks like the Republican Party is in deep trouble here. And I know, it seems kind of early to say this. I mean, it's not even March yet, and the election is in, what, November? So we are like 8 months away from Election Day. I know a lot could change. But as of now, it is not looking good for the Republican Party as of now. Now, things could change, obviously. I mean, it's only February, so yeah, a lot could happen. But right now, the way things are trending, it's looking very likely that Republicans will lose the governorship in 2025, therefore a flip for the Democrat Party. Now, before we continue, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. These are all great ways to support the daily content, but enough of the promotional stuff. We gotta talk about Virginia because I really don't like the Republican Party's chances in Virginia as of now. Now, a lot can happen. After all, it's not even March yet. The election's in November, so anything could happen in the next couple of months. I'm not saying that it's a foregone conclusion that Democrats are gonna win by 50 points or whatever, but as of now, I am not liking our chances here at all. Now, Virginia in recent years has been a very bizarre state. Back in 2020, Biden won it by over 10 points, and most people thought that it's gone. After 2020, the Republican Party, they were cooked in Virginia. They have no pathway here. It's over. It's a Democrat stronghold, and I really thought the same thing until 2021, and I think everyone knows what happened, but for those that don't, Glenn Youngkin shocked the world and actually won Virginia. Now, obviously, this is a down-ballot race. It's completely different set of circumstances, and a lot of things happened in this race that gave Youngkin the victory. But even then, there was a Republican governor in Virginia that won in 2021, and not by 2 votes or whatever. No, he won it by roughly 2%. He did pretty damn good in the Commonwealth. He won it by roughly 2 points, which is 60,000 votes, and he got a majority of the vote. He did pretty solid. And ever since then, it seemed like Republicans, they were picking up momentum in the Commonwealth every single month. They were doing way better across the board, and going into 2024, some people thought that, hey, maybe Republicans could get it much closer in the Commonwealth, and that's actually what happened. In 2024, yeah, Trump lost it by roughly 5 to 6 points, but he lost it by over 10 points back in 2020. So he did way better in the Commonwealth, and this is one of those states that, let's be honest here, it's not a good fit for Trump. It's just the simple fact that you have a bunch of government workers in Nova. That's Loudoun County, Fairfax, Prince William, etc. These counties here, these voters are the average resist liberal, a big chunk of them. These people hate Trump. They have Trump derangement syndrome to the extreme. Not every one of them, but a good chunk of them, they despise Trump. They hate his guts for no reason. They just hate him because he's the orange man. But even then, Trump did pretty damn good in a place like Loudoun County. Yeah, he lost it by 16 points, but he cracked 40% in Loudoun, which compare that to 2020, and that's a pretty big swing. He did pretty damn well in places like Loudoun, Prince William, Fairfax, and again, he still lost it by 5 points statewide, but the thing is, Trump is not a good fit for the state. He's just not. He's one of those Republicans that he's not that liked in Virginia. No matter what he does, he's going to have a very high unfavorability here. That's just a fact. That's Virginia for you. And despite all of that, he did pretty good here. And that's why some people thought that, hey, despite the fact that Glenn Youngkin can't run for re-election, maybe we can pull off the upset. Maybe we can hold on to the governorship in 2025. And I thought, yeah, that's entirely possible, because if Trump did this solid in Virginia, theoretically, you get a generic Republican as someone like Glenn Youngkin, they could win it by possibly even more than Youngkin won it by back in 2021. Because since 21, Republicans have clearly gained momentum in the state, and the Virginia Republican Party has been damn good. Have they been perfect? No. But compared to the state parties, they've gotten a lot better. So a lot of people, including myself, thought, hey, it's not a guarantee, but maybe if Republicans run someone decent, they could win Virginia in 2025, even with it being an off year and there being a Republican in the White House, which is a pretty big deal because usually the party that's in the White House, they tend to lose Virginia in the off-year election. That's usually what happens. Now, it doesn't happen every single year, but the vast majority of the time, yeah. If there's a Republican president, you're probably getting a Democrat governor. If there's a Democrat president, you're probably getting a Republican governor. That's been the trend for many years. But even then, I thought, hey, if Trump stays, relatively speaking, popular and Republicans run someone decent, well, they could maybe win. But even with all of that, despite the fact that this could be a win for the Republican Party, I don't think they're going to win. In fact, I believe if things continue the way they're trending, there's a chance that they could get absolutely crushed. Now, listen, I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but as of now, I have no clue what the Republicans are doing in Virginia, but if they don't get their shit together now, they're going to lose. I mean, look at this new poll from Roanoke College, which, again, Roanoke College, it's not the #1 pollster, but they're pretty solid. They're not a bad pollster, and look at this. The Democrat Spanberger, who I know both candidates are very low, but look at this. She is getting 39%. Compare that to Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears. She's only at 24%. Yeah, Spanberger, the Democrat candidate, is winning by 15 points. And you look at the other polling, and it's a clear trend. It's not just, oh, there's been one bad poll for Republicans. No, nearly every single poll has been a complete disaster for the GOP. There's only been 2 that have been halfway decent. And that comes from Coefficient, which is a Republican pollster. And yeah, it was sponsored by a Republican group. So you can ignore that one. And then you had Emerson College, which is a good pollster, yeah. But even then, they have Spanberger losing. Every other pollster has Spanberger, ever since December, winning by at least 3 points. In fact, you have pollsters like Christopher Newport University, Sears down by 5, Virginia Commonwealth University down by 10, now Roanoke College down by 15 points. This is looking bad, and Winsome Sears' campaign has been a complete joke. I have no clue what her campaign is doing. But her campaign's been awful. She's been lazy. She hasn't been campaigning. She hasn't done anything of note, and she's not helping her case whatsoever. Now, Winsome Sears has always been a very overrated candidate. For those that don't know, she is the lieutenant governor, okay? She is the lieutenant governor of Virginia, which theoretically should help her initially, give her some name recognition, and she could tie herself to Glenn Youngkin, who, despite it being a fairly Democrat state, is popular. The same polls that have Sears down by 15 points, he's actually very popular. Now, of course, you look at the same poll, and Trump's a -22, which I think is a bit too low, but just for the simple fact that basically every national poll has Trump at like 51, 52%, and I know it's Virginia, it's a bit more of a Democrat state, and you do got a bunch of federal workers that are getting fired, so maybe that could impact Trump's numbers a little bit, but I think even for Virginia standards, this is just way too low. Especially when you factor in every other national poll that has it +5, +6, +3. And even the poll that has Youngkin +14, they're probably understating its popularity just a little bit. I mean, they're claiming that Virginia is a D+8 electorate. It may be D+3 or 4, but D+8's kind of pushing it. But either way, the point is, Winsome Sears, despite the fact that Trump isn't that popular and you do got to deal with some of the federal worker stuff, which can be a big deal, she should not be down by 15 points. She should be roughly even with Spanberger. If she was down by 2 or 3 points, okay, all right. That Spanberger's a Democrat, and so far she's been running a damn good campaign. But the fact is, Winsome Sears is at 24%. And other polls, they have her at best the low 40s. There's one poll in the last couple of weeks that had her cracking 40%. Good job. This should tell everyone that, yeah, Winsome Sears, she's not a good candidate. Now, I've always believed that Sears was a weak candidate. She was never this electoral juggernaut that some people thought that she was. The only reason people like her, or some people like her, is the fact that she's basically running as a never-Trump Republican. which would make sense in Virginia. Like, yeah, Virginia voted for Harris by 6, and Trump's not the most popular here, but this is the one issue that Republicans have that idiots like Winsome Sears cannot comprehend. The Republican Party is the party of Trump. And if you're going to bash Trump and his supporters 24/7, they're not going to vote. Why do people think Glenn Youngkin won? Yes, of course, you had the stuff that happened in Loudoun County. Everyone knows the Loudoun County scandal helped Youngkin big time. But a big reason Youngkin did so good in Virginia was the fact that he absolutely ran it up in the rest of the Commonwealth. You look at these rural counties and turnout was way high. I mean, look at this. Russell County, he got 85% of the vote here. Traditional Republicans, they don't get 85% here. They don't get 80%, 86, 84. Trump does, but not Youngkin. And people voted. This part of the state is a big reason he won. Of course, him doing way better in Loudoun, Prince William, Fairfax, Chesapeake, and Virginia Beach, yeah, that helped them big time. But if he denied the Trump voters out to vote, he would have lost. And Youngkin was not this super liberal guy. Now, is he this MAGA Republican? No. But he's fairly conservative for Virginia standards, and he just ran as a good campaign. He just ran as a good Republican. He's like, hey, I'm going to talk about the issues that matter, like education and the cost of living. That's how he won. He won because he talked about the issues that mattered and got the voters out to vote. That's how you win Virginia. This is what Republicans gotta realize. They cannot win these states, no matter how Democrat it is, with just these moderate Republicans that are just basically Democrats, if you don't get the voters out to vote. Just that's common sense. But the Republican Party, they really think moderate equals electable. No, it doesn't. Winsome Sears is a garbage candidate, and yeah, she's very moderate. She might do slightly better in Fairfax and Prince William, fine. But Trump voters are not going to vote. In fact, a large chunk of them, they're probably going to vote for Spanberger. So, how are you going to win? If you're doing slightly better in Loudoun, but you collapse everywhere else, how can you win as a Republican? That's what I think's happening here. I don't think Spanberger's really up by 15 points because, oh, she is winning so many independents. No, she's only at 39%. She's at 45%. To me, it just Sears is not getting Republicans behind her. The Republican voter is saying, screw you. You are a never Trump Republican. You are not conservative on anything. We're not going to vote for you. That's what I think's happening here. That explains why Sears, despite being the lieutenant governor, which should give her some name recognition, she is doing such a piss-poor job. I mean, 24%, 34%, really? Well, Spanberger is consistently at 47, 42, 40, 43, 39, which is not good, but it seems like at the bare minimum, she's got her base. Winsome Sears, meanwhile, no. She doesn't have the base behind her, and it's probably going to cost her. She's probably going to lose in November if this keeps up. Now, do I think any other Republican could win? I don't know. I mean, you look at the other Republicans that could maybe run. These options suck. Amanda Chase could never win statewide, and these other picks are just memes. The only halfway decent pick was Jason Miyares, the Attorney General. But he was forced out. He could not run for the governorship because the Republican Party thought, oh yeah, Winsome Sears is the better option. So we're going to tell Miyares, who, by the way, beat a longtime incumbent back in 21 fairly easily, we're going to tell him to go F himself. And now you're stuck with someone that, despite having the support of Glenn Youngkin, is doing awful. She is not doing good at all. She's probably going to get crushed. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share it with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.